December 9th, 1941, 2 days after Pearl Harbor, on the island of Oahu, radios crackle with terrifying reports, paratroopers in the hills, enemy transports offshore. Newspapers scream, saboteurs land here. It's not true, not yet. But in Tokyo, Admiral Yamamoto has just realized his greatest mistake, and he's about to try to fix it. The attack on Pearl Harbor had been devastating. Battleships destroyed, the Pacific Fleet crippled, but Yamamoto hadn't actually invaded. He'd struck and withdrawn, and almost immediately he understood the cost of that decision. Without occupying Hawaii, America would rebuild. So just 2 days after the attack, Yamamoto ordered his staff to prepare something far more ambitious than a raid. A full invasion. It was codenamed the Yamaguchi Plan, after the admiral who championed it, and the strategy was methodical. First, seize Midway, Johnston Atoll and Palmyra Island, cutting off Hawaii's lifelines one by one. Then tighten a naval blockade around Oahu itself, slowly strangling its supply chain. Finally, after capturing the Big Island as a staging ground, launch a full amphibious assault on Oahu. The goal wasn't just military. Yamamoto believed that occupying Hawaii would force America to the negotiating table, ending the war on Japan's terms before American industry could fully mobilize. This wasn't a new ambition born out of victory. Japan had been quietly preparing for years. A Japanese intelligence officer named Takeo Yoshikawa had spent months before the attack posing as a junior diplomat in Honolulu, cycling past Pearl Harbor, counting ships, sketching defenses, and reporting every detail back to Tokyo. By the time the bombs fell, Japan already understood Oahu's defenses better than most. American commanders realized, and those defenses were not insignificant. Since the early 1900s, the U.S. had fortified Oahu with massive coastal batteries, anti-aircraft emplacements, and a 16-inch gun considered the most powerful cannon built in America at the time. Any invasion would not have been a simple landing. It would have been a brutal, costly fight for an island the Americans had spent decades preparing to defend. Back on Oahu, the fear was real. The U.S. Navy genuinely warned commanders to expect, quote, initial occupation of islands including Midway and Hawaii. The Secretary of the Navy openly admitted he couldn't guarantee landings wouldn't happen, and in a detail that captures just how seriously this threat was taken, the U.S. government began overprinting paper currency with the word Hawaii, so that if Japan did capture the islands, the money would be instantly worthless. This wasn't paranoia. This was a country bracing for invasion. For 6 months, the Yamaguchi Plan moved forward in the shadows of Japanese Naval Command, gaining support from senior officers who believed Hawaii was the key to winning the entire war. But every version of the plan depended on one critical first step. Before Japan could touch Hawaii, they needed Midway. Whoever controlled Midway controlled the gateway to the Hawaiian Islands. So in June 1942, Yamamoto sent his fleet to seize it, the next move in a much larger campaign. What followed became one of the most decisive battles in naval history. American codebreakers had cracked Japanese communications and knew the attack was coming. In a single devastating strike, the U.S. Navy destroyed 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, the same carriers Japan needed for any future invasion of Hawaii. Admiral Yamaguchi, the very man who had championed the Hawaii invasion plan, went down with his ship. In a matter of hours, the Yamaguchi Plan died with him. Without carriers, without air superiority, and without Midway as a staging point, the invasion of Hawaii became impossible. Even so, the fear didn't disappear overnight. Months later, in the fall of 1942, General Douglas MacArthur, still worried, allowed that Japan could control the Pacific and turn its attention back toward Hawaii. Some Japanese planners kept dreaming of it too, refusing to fully let go of what once seemed so close to reality. But by 1943, mounting losses across the Pacific made a Hawaii invasion all but unthinkable, and the idea quietly faded from Japanese war planning for good. Today, most people remember Pearl Harbor as the attack that started the war, but almost no one remembers how close it came to being the beginning of something far larger, a full occupation of American soil. If Midway had gone differently, Hawaii might have fallen. The Pacific Fleet would have retreated to the West Coast, and the entire war in the Pacific could have unfolded along a completely different timeline. It makes you wonder how much of history rests not on grand strategy, but on a handful of pilots, a few critical hours, and decisions made in the chaos of battle. If you want more untold war stories like this, subscribe because history has a lot more secrets left to uncover.